Michael.
Hey, Ricky.
Hello. How are
Hello
you,
there.
sir?
I'm good. I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
This thing. What's that? Huh? What's that? Must be reindeer poop. What is that on me?
It
I
is
mean,
getting
kinda-
close to Christmas. You and I are kind of festive.
Yeah,
You're red and I'm green.
That's right. Kind of being festivity. And one thing about the holidays, I mean, I can't believe it's in a couple of days. At least,
Yep.
at least
As of this recording,
as
a
this
couple
recording.
days still.
Yeah, so I'm kind of stressed out. When you get really stressed out this time of year, certain things kind of surface. Things that you're, surface. Yeah,
Like a rash.
No, that's down below. But no, it's like certain things. Like I have this fear.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my biggest fear is being trapped in a small room with Santa.
With Santa.
Yeah, it's like claustrophobia, and so, but but this time of year is very depression. A lot of people are depressed. The holiday season.
Yeah.
Even elves, believe it or not, Santa's little helpers. Because they have low self-esteem, and so. And so, and I heard the other day there's this guy, he stole an advent calendar.
He stole an advent calendar. Okay.
Yeah, he got 25 days for that. He got 25 days for that.
Let's go already!
Yeah, so...
It's the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. 25
What was
days.
that sound you made?
I don't know. What was that?
You made a sound during the intro.
Was it? Was it trying to get something out of my teeth? That's what
I
the
don't
sound
know. I just heard a noise during the intro.
like? Was it? We might see it in post. I don't know.
That was pretty punny there.
Yeah. Another thing I couldn't believe too, Santa Claus actually has a nationality.
Oh, really?
Well, he's North Polish. So, I mean.
North Pole. Nice.
Yeah. Sorry.
Now that's funny. The North Polish one I haven't heard. The low elf-esteem I've heard. The claustrophobia is.
I mean, what do you call a blind reindeer?
I don't know. What do you call a blind reindeer?
Well, that's the problem. I have no idea. Anyway, the show today, we're doing our holiday Futurama spectacular. Many of you, like us, who enjoy the Futurama, if goes back to the Simpsons from the very beginning with Matt Goring.
Yep. It started in 1999. I can't believe it's that old.
It is. I think I've watched it through maybe 3 times.
Probably about the same. I really, really love Futurama.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of commentary in it too. So
yes, there is.
So,
but that's our big topic for the day.
It is.
But
go ahead.
Do we have some nerdy news first?
Hold on a minute. I'm trying to enjoy a beverage real quick. I wish we had a sponsor, like, I don't know, like Sherm. That would be great.
Sherm?
Yeah. Or is
Sherm?
Or is it Shroom? Is it? Yeah.
What's in your cup?
Shrooms? Oh, man.
There's a little strong eggnog they're going on over there, I think.
Yeah. Some Yuletide alcohol in that thing. No, shrum. What's the drink on Futurama? The
Oh, slurm.
slurm. Close
Slurm.
enough. Slurm.
Slurm.
Slurm. It's the same thing.
It's the same. It is something.
Yeah, it is something. So, but before we just started, it's the holiday seasons, right? And we do have
It's
some
the holiday season.
seasons. And to do it right, of course, Futurama. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight in Yuletide spirits.
Yes.
But we do have some nerdy news. A lot of things, we talked about in our last podcast, all the DC shakeup, and it's
Yes.
finally. And a lot of what we said is true, unfortunately.
Yes.
A
lot of what we were concerned might happen has now happened.
Yes, and it's really sad. Of course, Henry Cavill,
Out as Superman officially.
which is 3 months ago. It's like hey, we're gonna pay for your moving, your housing and everything. Just go ahead and leave your state. Come with us. We'll take care of you. Oh, by the way, you're fired. Not really fired. You just really wasn't hired.
That contract
So-
that we said we were going to give you, we're just not going to give you now. Yeah, dude, that is really sad. I'm sad to see him go as Superman.
I really like. Yeah, I'm not for sure why. I understand what's going on, but I think here I had a little bit of information here. It was Henry Cavill responds to his Superman dismissal, and it was a tweet, and it said, "I've just had a meeting with the new Warner Brothers. I had a meeting with James Gunn and Peter. Yeah, and it's sad news, everyone. I will, after all, not be returning as Superman. And later on, they wrote, I guess James Gunn made this thing about how we respect him and we're a fan of him and we're looking forward to maybe doing something with him in the DC universe in the future, but not as Superman. And along with that, everything else is falling in place. Like, now they're talking about taking away the cameos for Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill. So what does that tell you? Does it tell you that they're going to keep the Flash? I mean, why even?
I think they're going to wipe the slate clean at this point. If you're not going to have Gal Gadot, if you're not going to have Henry Cavill, however you pronounce his name.
Cavill.
The rumor is that Ben Affleck is cut from Aquaman. There are some concerns he may be cut from the Flash.
Yeah.
And something I read, now I don't know if this is true or not, but there's something I read was that Ben Affleck is asking not to be represented on any of the posters for the Flash. He doesn't want to be included in any of the media scrums.
Really?
Yeah, which makes me think if he's not at least willing to do the media circus, they might cut him anyway.
Yeah.
But honestly, if we're going to lose those three, I don't see the point in keeping around Ezra's Flash.
I don't think so. Well, I mean, and he's a volatile actor anyhow. He's.
There was big concerns whether they would keep him anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's probably we're probably just gonna see them wipe the slate clean.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm concerned about. There's a whole new direction that they want to go. I have a feeling they want to go to a younger audience because a lot of things they're talking about a younger Superman.
What if they did the Batman, the Patterson Batman as the main Batman and start bringing in younger versions of all of the other make it his universe.
Oh, I totally agree.
Do you think
Totally
they'll
agree.
do that?
I don't think so. Well, I was
Or
reading
you
from
think Pattinson is going to be its own thing?
I think Patterson is going to remain to be his own thing. It just has a different vibe to it. I was reading somewhere in the Twitterverse that James Gunn talked about how he wants, I don't want to say continuity, but he wants to kind of tie in the comics, the comic books.
Okay.
And from my understanding, he's talking about the actual publications that are out now. It's almost like he's wanting
Okay.
to. He talked about how he wanted to create this world. He wants to align video games, animated series. I guess live action television. I guess I don't know how he's going to do that all. I mean, is he going to get rid of Peacemaker, which that wouldn't hurt my feelings.
No.
I mean, what he's going to do with the other ones, like Team Justice,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I'm at a loss. On the plus side, we are hearing that Henry Cavill is signing on for a new show.
yes, he is.
Or show or
Warhammer.
movie.
I think it's going to be a
Series, isn't it?
series with
Yeah,
Amazon
Warhammer
Prime.
40K.
Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, Henry, we got to figure out Cavill or Cavill or whatever.
I think we just decide on what we're going to call him and stick with it.
What's that? Let's flip a coin. What is it?
I like Cavill.
Cavill. We'll do Cavill. We'll drink to it.
All right. Cheers.
Here, cheers. So, Cavill. He's such a big nerd, which I really like.
Yes.
I mean, he's a big
Absolutely.
nerd. So, and a lot of people said he left The Witcher not so much to do Superman. From my understanding, he had a disagreement with the direction because he wanted to be true to the books. Because anybody who understands The Witcher is actually based off of books, original novels. So he, that's the thing about Cavill. Thing about Cavill is that he's really authentic. He's doing things that he loves.
Yes.
He's invested in them, and I think that's why it's sad that he's not going to be our Superman. And there's a lot of backlash. I know a lot of people are just really hammering on Peter James
Gunn.
James.
James Gunn.
Yes.
Not Peter Gunn.
Not Peter Gunn. Who is Peter Gunn, by the way? There is a Peter Gunn. That's his brother.
A Peter Gunn.
Yeah. And hey, and if we want to talk about something even less interesting, let's talk about Indiana Jones 5. How they're going to explain yeah, for real, there's I guess the director, I can't remember his name, he says, yes, we're going to explain what happened to Indy's son.
That no one cares about.
Nobody cares about.
You're going to take time to explain something no one cares about.
That they try to distance themselves from, but
You just do what
guess.
DC does. You just wipe it all away and ignore.
Just pretend like it never happened. Yeah,
exactly.
Pretend like it never happened. Oh my goodness. So anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about that one. But the Bad Batch is coming. It's starting January the 4th. I'm excited about this. Actually, some good nerdy news.
Yes.
It looks like there's 60 episodes. Wow. Yeah, I know exactly. So
that's a good series.
That is a good series. And have you heard about this? Time travel, Deadpool 3. What do you think? Have you read about this?
I have not.
You
Why?
have not?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Why is there going to be time travel?
Okay.
Well, okay. Are we talking about we're going to the ending of Deadpool 2 and the time travel watch actually becoming a plot point in the new movie. Is that what they were talking about?
Hugh Jackman confirmed in a new interview that Deadpool will not unravel the events of 2017's Logan, thanks to Marvel's flexibility in the timeline.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean time travel. I could just mean it's set before Logan.
Now I could see them use whatever that thing is, whatever
The watch thing.
the
he
watch to bring him back. But that's too. There's not supposed to be continuity in Deadpool,
No, there really
so
isn't.
there's really
There really
not.
isn't. There doesn't have to be. I think Deadpool can be whatever it wants to be.
I mean, honestly, I don't really think they could. They need to do a nod towards Logan. I mean, there's so many X-Men movies from the past that fallen out of canon. I mean, it's why not? Just kind of forget about Logan and just continue a story and have it in Deadpool 3. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they can just go roll with it and call it good. But I don't think they need time travel.
No, I don't think they need
for Marvel. We've got a multiverse now.
Yeah,
It can just be Deadpool in a different universe.
true. Hey, this is kind of your thing in entertainment. I don't have movie studios can now be sued for deceptive trailers. Have you read about this?
No.
According to Variety, U.S. District Judge Stephen Wilson ruled on Tuesday that movie studios can be sued under false advertising laws if they release subceptive movie trailers. The case stems involving a 2019 movie, Yesterday, which stars Hilmesh Patel as a man in the world without the Beatles. The trailer for Yesterday's includes clips of certain actors famous in the roles in the blah, blah, blah. The two fans of the actors filed a lawsuit in January alleging that they had rented Yesterday after seeing the actress in the trailer. However, they discovered that the actress was cut out of the final film once they saw the movie. Universal the judge is saying the Universal is correct that the trailer involves some creativity and editorial discretion, but this creativity does not outweigh the commercial nature of the trailer. And so the trailer is an advertisement designed to sell a movie by providing consumers with a movie preview. This is actually for real.
Yeah, this is actually an interesting idea.
Yeah.
So the fact that now I get it. Unfortunately, this is something that happens. Often trailers are produced before movies are finished.
Yeah.
And but this is an interesting idea because some movies trailers, especially Marvel is super guilty of this, of using lines that never show up in the movie to purposely misdirect what you think, so that they can hide what the surprise twist is in their movie.
Yeah.
So there's a balancing act here, and I get it. Now putting actors in your trailer and then getting cut from the film, that's a little disingenuous.
Yeah.
That's almost like, you put somebody's name and their face on the poster.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you cut them from the film.
Yeah.
That's a little, especially if they're like a big name or a big actor and they're bigger than your leads.
Yeah.
Now that's when it becomes kind of, I've seen this a lot where, especially in small independent films, they'll get one big name actor and that person's going to come on set and shoot for one day, one scene. But then when you see the promotional material, they're the biggest name on all the promotional material.
Yeah.
It's like that's not exactly true. I mean, it's kind of true. He is in the movie, but
We could do a show that's totally on movies that we would like to sue because of the trailers.
totally could.
Yeah. So, but that's all I have. Anything you want to add to our nerdy news?
No, I really don't have anything else right now.
Well, let's go into some stupid news.
All right, let's do that. It's the weird and stupid news with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Tonight at 11.
Doom!
That's okay. Okay.
Oh, that is our show tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I could end it on that, and that would probably be the funniest bit that we have on the show. Speaking of the holidays and speaking of the Grinch, of course, the Grinch is actually a deputy for the Marathon, Florida Police Department. Apparently,
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Seems like that. Seems like the Grinch is helping local law enforcement catching. Yes, right. People speeding over the speed limit. Several motorists speeding through the elementary school zone on the Florida Keys highways received a odorous onion as a reminder to slow down from the county sheriff's deputy dressed as the Grinch.
That's awesome.
Colonel Lou Captato was back on the streets Tuesday, a 37-year-old veteran of Monroe County Sheriff's Office who conjured up the concept more than 20 years ago. Drivers who travel about 5 miles or less above the school zone speed limit can choose to either between a traffic citation and an onion presented by the Grinch. Those speeding beyond that will likely receive a costly ticket. And then,
oh my gosh.
Now he said the Grinch officer said he portrays a fictional character created by, of course, the children's author Dr. Seuss to give motorists a gift and call the attention in a nice way that they need to obey the speed limits, which is kind of cool. But when he gives them a clear choice of a citation or onion, they will have to take the onion, and I've had them eat the onion right in front of me, the officer said.
Oh my gosh, I kind of want to go and speed through there just so I can get an onion from the Grinch. That's pretty funny.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Speaking
that's
of
that's some good stupid news right there.
That is some good stupid news right there. But also on the stupid news, of course, also following the holiday tradition of the Grinch. And we've seen this before in previous stupid news, but again, that's right. The HOV lane driver's only passenger was an inflatable Grinch. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Police in Arizona said a driver was cited after being found driving in a carpool lane with an inflatable Grinch as the sole passenger. The Arizona Department of Public Safety tweeted a photo showing a vehicle with an inflatable Grinch in the passenger seat. The department said the trooper pulled the vehicle over on Interstate 10 after noticing the car was traveling in a high HOV lane. Was occupied only by the driver and the suspicious looking pass. Yeah, that's clever.
Nice.
Wow. And also on the final stupid news, Cousin Eddie displayed in Kentucky leads to police response.
Wait, what?
That's right, Cousin Eddie. Cousin Eddie display in Kentucky apparently looked too real, and the police were called to check it out.
Oh my gosh!
After receiving the call, a dispatcher described the scene to responding officers as a male standing outside. He is naked. He has a robe covering parts of his body. He is exposing himself and has a hose between his legs.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. The officers arrived at Shepherdville's home to find a mannequin in the front yard that looked like Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Vacation. Homeowner Joni Keeley said she put the display from her favorite Christmas movie to have fun. Everybody has a Cousin Eddie in their family, Keeley said. I just want people to have a good Christmas and a laugh. Responding officers did get a laugh, took some photos and of the display. And that's your stupid news. Ho, ho, ho.
Good. This has been the Weird and Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And before we get into the Futurama again, we're kind of combining Futurama with Christmas. And the only way I can think of doing Futurama during the Christmas time is this Yuletide song.
He knows when you are sleeping.
He knows when you're on the can.
He'll hunt you down and blast your ass from here to Pakistan.
Oh.
You better not breathe. You better not move. You're better off dead, I'm telling you, dude.
Santa Claus is gunning you down.
Yeah!
So,
Yes.
so anyway,
Oh my
if
goodness.
we get shut down, I don't care. So anyhow, I pieced those together. Dargone it. Okay, so
That was good. That was
thank
good.
you. Thank you.
I enjoyed that.
It's worth it. So, anyway, this is, I have not always been a Futurama fan. We talked about it, and you were telling me, you shared Futurama, and I had some people that I knew, and I started watching it, and it kind of grows on you. I don't know. How were you when you first watched Futurama? Was it something you go, man, I've got to watch this, or is it something I'm going to give it a chance, or is it something you just instantly you were connected with?
Well, when I heard the premise, I was like, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
I was a Simpsons fan.
Yeah.
For the first few seasons.
Yeah.
Simpsons has gone on a little too long for my taste.
Well, I agree.
But the first 6 or 7, 8 seasons of Simpsons is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I like the creators. I like the style. Let's take a look at this. And
Yeah.
I dig sci-fi stuff. So it's like, I got to check this out.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I watched the first episode and I was hooked.
Awesome.
I knew this was something I was going to watch for a long time. And when it was canceled the first time, I was super disappointed.
Yeah. Well, and for me, I watched a couple times, then I just kind of went on my merry way. I thought, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then I started, I started revisiting it and watching it more and more. And then there was some, I hate to say the word continuity, but all suddenly you have characters that come back. So it's just, I found the relationships really funny. I started understanding the characters more, and it was something, and now I've watched it like 3 times in a row, the entire season. So yeah, I mean, you can't, so.
And I like that there are some episodes that, even though there is a lot of slapstick kind of humor, there are some kind of poignant parts.
Yeah, exactly.
There's some touching things that happen throughout the series.
It's kind of sprinkled in there.
Yes,
a little bit.
yes. It's not heavy. It is definitely a comedy, but it's fun. It's like the dog is one of my favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
Things. If you don't know the dog story, you need to look up those episodes. The dog is fun.
I think for me, when I finally got to this one certain episode, I was hooked, and it was like, okay, I'm going to watch every bit of it. I can't remember the episode, but I remember this part.
Fine. I'll go build my own lunar lander with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the lunar lander and the blackjack. Screw the whole thing.
So that hooked me once I saw
Bender is the glue that holds the show together.
Really is.
The show
really
is about Fry, but but Bender is something that makes the show super funny.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's funny. And the thing is, I was reading some information about, kind of the contention that, Goring and Fox had against each other, because Fox, they were hoping for another type of Simpsons, and they felt like, of all people, Fox, they found that, Futurama was too dark, like the suicide booths. That was a comment they made, and I thought that was kind of funny.
There is definitely some dark humor in this show,
but this is Fox,
which I kind of get into.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, and it got a little weirder as time went on, because once it left Fox, it jumped over to, was it Cartoon Network next?
Yeah, it's Cartoon Network. Yeah,
Cartoon Network allowed them to do things that they wouldn't have done at Fox.
No, and it was a little more risque.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, they took kind of a, they kind of took okay, we're no longer have the chains of Fox on us, and I think it was almost like you cage somebody long enough, then when they come out, they want to go all to one, they want to go all out. Crazy. I was going to say something else, but all out crazy, and just without the, without moderation. But like my favorite part is that as soon as they came back on the Comedy Network, was it Comedy Channel or Cartoon?
Wait, let me look. No, Comedy Central. Comedy Central.
Comedy Central. There were several episodes where they made jokes about the Box Company, BOX.
Yes. Oh my goodness! When they got canceled and they came back, there was no holds barred.
Yeah, they didn't have
and they play into that, like they even like. So it was canceled in 2003.
Yeah.
And then it didn't come back until 2008.
Yeah.
And they even make a comment in that first episode. I don't know if you remember this. They make a comment about, man, it feels like it's been 5 years since we've been here.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
This is like they just play with the idea of, hey, all these things have happened, so we're going to abuse that idea.
Yeah, there was, what was it, season 5, Goring and his team, was frustration with Fox were on display on opening moments of season 5. Yeah, Bender's Big Score, which featured Planet Express crew learning that their contract with delivery company known as the Box Network had been surprisingly canceled.
Yes.
Portraying executives of the company as self-defeating idiots, Professor Farnsworth is ecstatic when he learns that the Box Network executives who made that decision were fired for their incompetencies. They were also physically beaten to the point of their death. Some even died and had their remains converted into all-purpose powder, which was used repeatedly throughout the episode. Oh my goodness. The series would later be fully revived by Comedy Central and I think Adult Swim. Adult Swim was I
don't know how much they were involved, but it does feel that kind of way.
Yeah.
I know that 5th season is weird because when Comedy Central brought it back, they didn't bring it back fully.
No.
They brought it back as 3 or 4. I don't remember the number.
Like they said the series,
or 4 movie length shows.
Yeah, they said the series was fully revived by Comedy Central for an additional 2 seasons before it ended more or less on its own terms with season 7.
Yes.
So
season 5 was weird because every episode's like there was like 4 episodes at a time that you had to watch to get a full story. And then season 6 and 7 were regular episodic, series seasons where you had, each individual episode was its own thing.
I thought it was cool, and it really, I was amazed because let me step back. You know, a lot of your voice actors can do so many voices. Like Billy West, I was surprised all the different voices he did. He even did. He even did Head Nixon. Okay, and we were talking about this earlier. Zap Gannigan, which
Zap Brannigan.
Brannigan. I'm thinking of Jeff. Anyway, you were telling me earlier that originally he was wanting Phil Hartman to voice that.
Groening had worked with Phil Hartman over at over on The Simpsons.
Yeah,
they had a good relationship. He really wanted him to come and voice Zap Brannigan. And for years, I thought he had.
Well, I did too,
but I hadn't put the dates all together.
Yeah.
He died before the show was made.
That's
so one of the things I read was, as a nod to him, they actually changed the main character's name to Phil.
Yeah.
To Philip. And then Billy West voices Zap Brannigan, and he basically tries to imitate Phil Hartman.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Does a great job of it.
He does.
He also, he plays Philip J. Fry. He also plays Professor Fernsworth, which I didn't realize.
I did not. And Zoidberg.
And Zoidberg, yes. And Richard Nixon's head, which I just think that's hilarious. Here is Richard Nixon, who comes at the House of Presidents in a museum, becomes the president of Earth. I really loved how they did that. He's played Smitty and Leo Wong. Amy Wong's father.
I didn't realize. I did not realize he played Leo Wong.
Now, John DiMaggio, I think that's his name.
Yeah, DiMaggio.
DiMaggio. I always think of the baseball player. Of course, he played Bender. He plays Elzar. The cook.
Okay.
Elazar. He plays couple of other ones that I'm not really familiar with. Joey Mousepad, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he plays
Eigner.
There's so many bit parts in this show.
So I'm sure he did a lot of.
He plays a bunch of those.
Also cool. I mean, Kathy Siegel. I love her in so many things.
Yes.
She plays Leela, which she shows a great job. It's really they did a spoof. I don't know if you ever seen Married with Children, or at least seen some of it. They kind of did this thing where it was the episode where I guess she thought she met her own species on this planet, another alien, and he was the only survivor. She was the only survivor, and he turned out to be kind of a jerk, but she said, I want my race to survive. And they had one scene where he's sitting on the couch like Al Bundy did, and he would come in, and her hair was all made up like like the wife on
Married with Children.
Married Children. So anyway, thought it was funny they did nod back on that. So
that was a great episode.
That was a great episode. David Herman played Scruffy. Roberto, which was the crazy,
the crazy robot,
psycho, Mayor Poopenmeyer. Turangus Morris, and
that's Leela's dad.
Yeah, Turangus Morris. Who is Leo Wong? That's because Billy West does Leo Wong, so I don't know.
Leo Wong is Amy's dad.
Okay, but then who is? Okay, never mind. Turanga Morris is
Leela's
dad. Okay, that's right. The one with the muted. Mm-hmm.
Because she always thought she was an alien, but it turns out she was actually a mutant.
But throughout, this is the thing that gets me. Okay, throughout this whole thing, is that I thought all these different voices, like they did with Richard Nixon, some other voices. I thought it was all done by voice actors, but they have a ton of actual real people playing themselves. playing.
I never knew Al Gore actually played
yes,
Al Gore.
I know. I know. Pauly Shore was actually Pauly Shore. Bob Barker was actually Bob Barker. Even Rich Little. I didn't even know he was playing Howard Cosell.
I didn't realize Rich Little was on there. Now, I always knew George Takei was actually George Takei.
Yes, George Takei. And Robot Santa Claus is John Goodman.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
I did know that one. It's just so many great actors that show had.
They had George Takei, Takei, which is they had who else did they have? They had there's so many people here. I can't even.
Pamela Anderson was on the show.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
Coolio, a rapper. Lucy Liu. Remember that episode? Yes.
Yep. Lucy Liu actually plays Lucy Liu. They had Leonard Nimoy on.
I know.
Stephen Hawking actually was Stephen Hawking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's see. Nichelle Nichols.
Bob.
The
Bob.
Star Trek episode had a lot of real people in it.
Conan O'Brien. They had William Shatner, Sigourney Weaver. They even had Beck.
Dick Clark was actually Dick Clark.
Yes. They had Bob Euchre was on there. So, I mean, Hank Aaron was on there too. And I remember those as I'm reading them, I'm remembering these episodes and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, it was like, I mean, of course, Hank Azaria was in it. Of course, he played Harold Zoid, the Harold Zoid, which was the silent film comedian.
Yes.
Zoidberg's
dad.
Yeah, exactly. So, B. Arthur.
Patton Oswalt was on there once.
B. Arthur. Okay. And some of these people I didn't realize, and I guess I thought, well, I didn't know these people were still alive, but this was back again in 1999. So,
yeah, this show is pushing 23 years since it started.
I feel old because I'm thinking to myself, this is not something that just came out 5 years ago. This has been out for a while. And, but man, look at the list, the roster of stars that came on to do it's. Yeah. So,
and I love that they played on a lot of, Fry grew up in the late 1990s.
Yeah.
And they played, they pulled a lot of stuff from that era. The Beastie Boys were still there. And I liked the idea that the way they played with the future, it was like, it's the future. But everybody's super nostalgic for all this old stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hold on a minute. We do have to take a break for our sponsor. Here we go.
All My Circuits is brought to you by RoboFresh, designed by a robot for a robot.
So there we go, RoboFresh.
Oh my gosh. When did you have time to do these?
Let's just say, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully nobody at your office listens to this show.
Yes, hopefully not. I guarantee you they won't.
Oh my gosh.
So I still
Tonight at 11.
I love Morbo.
Yes, Morbo is great.
Morbo is great.
Oh my gosh.
So they had and I love the Christmas episodes, and I guess this is kind of what I thought about it because a week ago I was watching the Christmas episodes, and it's such a weird deal, okay?
Yes,
it's
Robot
almost like
Santa. Everybody's on the naughty
list. Yeah,
and Fry is super excited to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, but it's
and everybody else is like, Christmas is horrible. It's the worst day of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And he doesn't understand that. So, so some of the character development, too, is like, I think the focus, you see Leela and Fry, and I really like how they ended it.
The ending is kind of sweet.
I think it's sweet, and it really opens them up to, of course, they're. I haven't heard anything. I know they made a big deal about trying to get them back on, do something on Hulu, from my understanding. They had a
Yeah,
while
the
back.
last I read was back in September. They're expecting 16 episodes.
Okay.
It'll all be released on Hulu. It's unclear as to whether it will be a weekly release or an all at once. But the last I read, we're expecting it in 2023.
They were, they had a big,
and the major cast is all back.
yeah. Beside, Bender Gate has finally,
Yes.
DiMaggio
was kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been hard to do the show and do it justice if they had to replace Bender.
I think so too. There's certain actors and actresses that wouldn't be the same. There's a few characters that I would hate not to see, but of course, again, when you have like Billy West and John DiMaggio,
do
so many of them. I mean, really,
Yeah.
Like Hermes. I mean, the bureaucrat Jamaican. I mean, I'm sure we could get somebody who can play the,
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and of course, Kathy Siegel. It's Kathy Siegel. It's
That one would be hard. There is one other actress, and I can never remember her name, but I always get her confused with Kathy Siegel.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you went and hunted her down,
yeah.
then you might have gotten away with it. But
Okay, Lauren Tom plays Amy Wong, and I think that's the only. She just plays Amy Wong. So, and then Phil Lamar plays Hermes Conrad. So,
and Robo the preacher guy, the Robo preacher.
Yeah, I love that guy. It's hilarious.
He's funny.
So,
yeah, there are a couple people I think you could survive without, but if you didn't have Billy West, if you didn't have DiMaggio, and you didn't have Siegel, I think probably you should just not do the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hope they have a Christmas special.
Oh yeah, I hope so too. And they now, do you prefer them doing just dumping the shows all at once, or are you wanting to do a weekly? What would be
I don't really have a preference.
Yeah.
I know there are people out there. It's like, I'm not going to watch any of it till it's all released.
Yeah.
And I'm not that guy. But at the same time, I'm also not the guy that says, I must only watch one a week, Because I'll binge watch things if they're available to binge watch. But I'm not going to, I don't complain if I can't.
I'm the same way. It's funny. I'm one of these people to say I would rather binge watch it. But I find myself, there's something nostalgic about waiting for the next week for the next episode, because, they first started doing that. Disney started doing that with The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first show in streaming services that started doing a weekly. Or
I don't know if it was.
Or was it Marvel? Was it a?
I mean,
within
it could
Disney,
have been one of the Marvel. It was definitely Disney Plus is definitely the place I think that made streaming weekly instead of dumping it all at one time kind of a thing.
And I don't know why the Mandalorian
builds up some anticipation.
Yeah, and I don't know why the Mandalorian sticks out as the weekly, but for some reason it does. It'd be interesting to find out. But anyway, besides that, I think streaming services like Disney Plus, because there were a time where Disney Plus didn't have a whole lot of content. Right. And the only reason people got on was because of The Mandalorian. So think about it. It was smart for them to do a weekly content to keep subscribers.
To keep some subscribers around. Absolutely. They definitely did the right thing.
I think so too.
But it doesn't bother me either way.
Yeah.
honestly. But it definitely adds some anticipation if you
Yeah.
have to wait for it. It's like, oh, that was a great episode. I can't wait for the next episode.
Exactly.
And then you're
Exactly.
eager to watch it. But you know, and I kind of think it's a little bit of a letdown if it's only like 5 or 6 episodes and you drop them all at one time.
Yeah.
And then I binge watch through the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that was great. And then there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing because I don't want to watch it again right now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and did they, I didn't know if, and you said, did they mention how many episodes they're going to do? Or what they've talked about?
I read 16 is the expectation.
Okay, that would be good.
So it's not a full, like most network shows are about 22 to 24 episodes. So it's not quite that, but it's more than a lot of streaming shows that are 8 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's
know.
like the Bad Batch. We talked about how many was
Yeah,
on
Bad
there.
Batch's going to have 16.
16, so, which is
Yeah, I
pretty
think-
good for streaming services. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see what they do. Hopefully they stick with continuity.
Yeah, I hope so
And,
too. I
you know,
wondered about
they've-
that and just not ignore what happened at the last.
Yeah, because that last line is, so what do you think about going around again?
Exactly.
And it would be nice if they actually, the first scene is them stepping out of the wormhole, all
Yeah.
young again,
Yeah.
and they've
But-
already lived a life together.
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't do this. Of course, again, I guess I'm a, kind of romantic, even when it comes to, animation,
Yeah.
because I hope it doesn't, going back in time and forgetting, because I don't want to see this whole thing again. I don't want to see the whole build up again. We watched the whole build up for how many? For 7 seasons, and
Yes, I was
just-
going to say that. Now that is a running gag
yeah,
where Fry and Leela finally get together, and then something happens, and then they're no longer, they don't remember it, or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever the case may be.
but I think they could have some fun. Actually, their relationship. I think they could
Yeah.
have some fun with that. I mean, I think it could get into some other stuff and could focus on some of the other characters as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I honestly, I mean, what would you think would be the worst thing they could do? This coming.
I think the worst thing
16
they
episodes.
could
Yeah,
do, I think the worst thing they could do is totally ignore what happened and just pick up like nothing.
yeah. See that? I think so.
Just if they just pick it up
yeah,
at any arbitrary moment later, and they don't address the fact that they've been gone for 10 years,
yeah,
then I think they're missing. I think they've missed something.
yeah.
I definitely think the heads need to be updated. We need some new heads.
Oh, some new heads. Yes, in the
Yes.
jar. Yeah.
Yes, we
Heads
need
in the
some-
jar.
Yeah, we need some new heads over the last 10 or...
Well, I'm sure we can
What year
count-
did it end? It ended in 2008.
Okay, let's do this. What would be the heads that we would want on the show? This would be kind of fun. What heads? And anybody who actually is listening to the show or care, just give us your comments with your hate mail.
Have we ever had a George Lucas head on the show?
No. I don't know why I'm thinking
Kevin Feige head could be fun.
Kevin Feige head. Yeah, we could do
We
that.
definitely need a Barack Obama and a Trump head. I think we've already had a Trump head.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think? But I think it was pre-President Trump.
Yeah, pre-president
Yeah.
Trump.
Okay. Let's
So,
see.
so I think we need a Barack Obama head
Barack
to show
Obama.
up. Let's see who.
In the past 10 years, that's
An Ed Sheeran head would be appropriate because he's He's pretty popular.
Yeah. I mean, man, it's hard. Oh, we can do an old Indiana Jones. I have seen they did have a Harrison Ford in the museum, but he never said anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember he was in the museum and had Harrison Ford. It was the museum of celebrity heads, and he was there.
But he
And I
didn't
think
say
and I think
anything.
that was the episode where Beck was in there. I don't not Beck. I can't remember who was in there, why they did that, but yeah. But they can do an old Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else they should pull out.
Do a Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland.
Do a Tom Holland.
That could be good. Or RDJ would be good.
Yeah. 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 It's funny. I can't think. You think of the past 10 years, I could think of some more celebrities, but I don't know why. Maybe just because I'm so stuck back in the 80s and the 90s, I have no idea.
Well, and that's going to be the key, though. It's important, based on, now that I know, based
Yeah.
on the fact that most of them were not they were not voice actors
Yeah.
impersonating them. It's going to depend on who they can actually get.
Yeah.
Who will come on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
If they can't get them, I don't want them.
I don't, yeah.
Don't give it unless it's someone who has passed away.
Yes.
And then you have to have a voice
Yeah.
actor,
Yeah.
impersonate them. If they're still alive and you can't get them,
Don't
don't
it.
use their head.
Don't do it. No.
Now, I will say one other thing that I always thought was good about this show is that each of the main characters got at least one episode
Yeah.
that was theirs.
Yeah.
This was their story.
Yeah.
Most of it was about Fry. But then it would be like, okay, this is definitely Leela's story.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's Bender's story.
Yeah.
This one's Amy's story. I think they need to make sure they do that again.
I think so too. They did a good mix of it, and it never
Yeah.
felt forced. It was
No.
just really good. No.
Everybody was always involved. Everybody always was there to help. Even if that was stupid.
Yeah, I can see some of the previous celebrities coming back.
Oh yeah,
But like you said, we need some new ones.
Nixon needs to be still be the
yes,
president.
needs to be the president. I mean, just because it's
in perpetuity at this point.
Exactly, at this point, it doesn't matter. And so, yeah, I mean, I can't. Yeah, exactly. Maybe some others. I really don't care about the sports part of it, but whoever wants to play that, maybe Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld.
That could be good. That could be good.
People like that. I don't know. Some Carrot Top. Of course, he's not. That's still old stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who else. What is one other thing that you want to make sure they do?
One thing I want them to do first. I want them to stay with continuity.
Yeah.
I want there to be a self-awareness that they're doing it all over again.
Yep.
Maybe the others don't realize it, except for, I don't know, the other, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because Dr. Fernsworth, he knows. He came and got him to bring him back. So that would mean the others would know too, I would think. So,
I would think.
But anyway, let Leela and Fry come back knowing that knowing there's no amnesia or no, we're not doing a reset, or I hate when they say reboot because I read somewhere where they talked about reboot in an article and they used the word reboot. Don't do reboot.
Yeah, I don't want them to do a reboot. I want them to do like when the 5 years they were gone from Fox. I want them to do that kind of thing.
I think if they do not continue the journey from the last 7 years, I think fans will be really upset. And I think most people will lose nostalgia and they won't watch.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I would watch, but I don't know. I those are the biggest things. Continue the continuity. Let Leela and Fry, let them know, let them still be together, and see a new
Even
chapter.
if they
in their
break
life.
up in the first episode, at least that they know they have spent a life together. And that Fry's then going to spend the next 16 episodes trying to win her back.
Yeah. Or I would
Which
like
that would be fine.
Yeah. Well, I would rather somehow, for some reason, they get married and they have this whole new tiff for taff going on, and and they have a mutant baby, and Fry's trying to handle being a father of a mutant baby.
Could be funny. That could be funny.
And so, and the entire crew is trying to help them with this mutant baby,
Yeah, I still want him to be a delivery boy.
Yes.
I don't want him to have a better job.
No, I don't. Me either. Keep it the same.
Yep.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind them keeping and I would like for them to get together, and because I think, because it gets old. Okay, I hate the back and forth. We've done it for 7 years. Okay, time to keep them together and then experience what they do together and see how it interacts with everybody else. I don't want them being
but
jerks.
everybody's a jerk. You, me, this jerk. That's my philosophy.
But anyhow, yes. Oh my goodness! Oh, we do have we have another sponsor before we close the show. Yeah, here we do.
And now the transcredible exploits of Zap Brannigan, brought to you by Bartley's Rocket Wax.
I wax my rocket every day.
Okay, so what? Sorry.
What does transcredible actually mean?
I don't know. I don't really.
I saw that the very first time I saw it. I was like,
yeah.
Is that a word?
I know. I would be. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't do justice because I know we're getting close to the end of the show. So it's kind of one of those things you just want to make sure you get in there because that was a lot of hard work here. but
oh my gosh.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from Bender.
My shiny metal ass.
And so there we go. And of course we'll probably be banned, but that's okay. I don't care anymore because nobody watches. This is for our pleasure.
Yes.
So yes.
Bender must say that.
Yes, he must say that
at least a few times.
And so so anyway, so hopefully they'll come out pretty soon. He said 2023 is the date.
2023 is the
year
last thing that I've seen, but nobody's saying when. Okay. Nobody knows. Well, nobody's saying if it's going to be early, if it's going to be late. I haven't found anything that says they're in production.
Yeah.
But it's cartoon. It's voice acting. It could.
Yeah.
I do. They did use a lot of CGI in it. This is one last thing I'll say.
Yeah.
They did use some CGI kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I hope they stay with the existing animation style.
I do too. I don't like. Yeah.
Some of the CGI is fine. The spaceship a lot of times would be CGI.
Yeah.
But I hope they stay with that animation style and they don't try to update it too much.
Yeah. They tried to do that with, going back to Star Wars, the animated series for the Clone Wars, and they went to the Rebels, and it was kind of, I didn't really like that animation change there.
Yeah.
I hope they...
Like The Simpsons has evolved over time a little bit, but still, it has that still basic feel.
Yeah. Exactly.
As long as it has the right feel, I think it'll be good.
That's right. Before we end it, folks, the holidays is here, and we just want to say thank you for watching. And just one more time.
He knows when you are sleeping.
He knows when you're on the can.
He'll hunt you down and blast your ass ass from here to Pakistan.
Oh.
You better not breathe. You better not move.
You're better off dead, I'm telling you, dude.
Santa Claus is gunning you down.
Yeah!
That just makes me warm and fuzzy all over.
All over.
As all over. I think it's time, don't you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
This has been the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. Okay, well, I don't know.
That was a show.
You felt show? I don't know. Should we hang out a little longer or should
All
we
right,
just...
show's over. I'm tired.
Okay. All right, then.
Okay.
All right. I guess we're done.